Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I am Amy with Growing Your Faith, and today we are going to be creating a fun little Bible journaling page. I thought it would be fun to use the item that we made in our digital Bible journaling class last week. I can't talk, I promise. Okay, so this is the page that we created. If you would like to watch this page or see this page, actually I even have this already ready, so I can just put that in the description down below. You can use any other pieces that you have. I am using part of a kit that I created last year for February. That's where all of these pieces came from. These all came from the freebie, but some of the pieces that I'm using today came from the actual kit. So I will put a link to the freebie. I will put a link to this that we created in the digital Bible journaling class for beginners. And I will also put some links to the kit. So you can totally just use the freebie and just kind of do it how you want to. So here is my plan. So we are in 1 Corinthians. We are studying 1 Corinthians right now in the Growing Your Faith One Page at a Time Facebook group. You are welcome to join us if you would like, but today we're going to be working in 1 Corinthians down here at the bottom in verses 14 through 17, where it says, I am writing this not to shame you, but to warn you as my dear children. Even if you had 10,000 guardians in Christ, you do not have many fathers, for in Christ Jesus I became your father through the gospel. Therefore, I urge you to imitate me. For this reason, I have sent to you Timothy, my son whom I love, who is faithful in the Lord. He will remind you of my way of life in Christ Jesus, which agrees with what I teach everywhere in every church. So Paul here is talking about his consistency in his walk with Christ. And he is consistent because he is following Christ. So we are to imitate him because he is imitating Christ. It is a beautiful, beautiful picture of who Paul is and who we need to strive to be. So let me zoom out just a little bit and refocus. So I wanted to kind of create a page for this because he says this again in 1 Corinthians, imitate me like I'm imitating Christ, because he wants these Corinthians to really understand who they are supposed to be in Christ. Okay, so I have my piece of paper here, and this is just some scrap paper that I found. Actually, I think I'm gonna swap it over this way to the more papery side. And then you're just going to put your paper clip on there, and then you can glue your flower on there. And adjust your size how you want it, and then we will just glue it down. So then you've got the paper clip on the outside and the paper clip on the inside. Then your paper won't get stuck on the paper clip, and you're gonna have to hold that pretty good. You want that glue to get inside that paper clip because that is what's gonna make it to where your paper clip doesn't move around. And then glue on the other side there, and just hold it for a second. That art glitter glue dries super fast, so it's kind of nice to use. And then I need a little bit more down here in this corner. My glue's getting all sticky on top. Okay, there we go. So now we have that part done, and then we're just going to do the same here and figure out where we want it, and then we will be able to glue it down. So I have my paper where I want it, and then I'm just going to kind of stick this right here, and then move my paper, and then I can glue it down where I want it. So let me just And this is going to be a little bit harder to glue down here with that paper clip on the back side of it. So I'm just going to hold it for a second and then glue on the other side. And I don't want my flower to be glued down at the sides because I want to be able to slip that paper in there. So try not to get the glue on that part. And then this should just slip right in there between those two pieces of paper. Oh, my flower petals in the way. Just like so. There we go. It worked. Yay. Okay, so that's where I want that. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and get some inking done here. So I'm going to grab my Victorian Velvet. I definitely want around the edges done, and I want the edges around this done. You can print this on cardstock, which will make, one, your inking a little bit easier, but two, then it'll be a little bit more firm. I just printed it on regular printer paper, and you can do that as well. I think I'm going to put some little dots or something on my page just to kind of give it a little bit of background texture. You can do that as well if you want to, but you definitely don't have to. Sometimes it makes it look a little busy, so it really just kind of depends on, I can't see up in there. The one cool thing about having it pink on the inside is I can see where it's where I need to stick the piece of paper. There we go. Yeah, I definitely like the being able to. This is another one of those, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but this is another one of those super dark inks that you definitely want to be careful with how much you're putting on your page because, well, it's super dark. It's really pretty color. Somebody gave me this Bible, a friend who I went to a retreat with last year. She wanted it for study, but she was like, this thing's just too big. I can't carry it around for studying. She didn't really do a whole lot of actual Bible journaling. And so she sent it to me as a gift, and it was so amazing. I've wanted one of these for so long, but they're, yeah, you know, they're a little pricey. But I'm really, really excited to be able to work in it, and it just makes me think of her and her kindness every time I journal in it, which just makes my heart really happy. And so all of that to say, she put these tabs on here, so I'm not really sure where she got them. But I do kind of like them. I actually don't usually tab my Bibles, just because, well, one, mainly it's because I'm too lazy, and that's a lot of work to get those tabs on there. And two, I'm always worried about them ripping or messing up because they're outside the pages of, you know, they're outside the protection of the pages. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to grab my polka dots here and just kind of put some of these in the background. Oh wait, not this guy. I'll use one of these. Y'all, these things are amazing. I've never bought them. I just thought it was kind of frivolous, and so I just didn't buy them. And then once I did, I was like, oh my goodness, they're pretty nice. They are pretty nice. I'm going to try to go light with the polka dots. Sometimes that's actually really hard, especially with these, but you can see that's super light there. With these darker colors, you have to be really careful because they tend to get darker than you realize super quick. I think I like just that. I don't want too many. There we go. Okay, now I am going to add some washi up here at the top. and a little purple here. And again, these all come in the kit that I will link down in the description below. I can't remember exactly what comes on the freebie, but I will link it all for you. And a little label that we can write some words on. And then I have a little journaling card that I'm going to put right here so I can put some more information right here with this little coffee. I drew this coffee guy and this little kawaii coffee, and I just love her. She makes me really happy. It's the little things, right? 'Tis the little things. Okay, and then let's, let's go around our verse here. I'm just gonna sloppy square around it. Because I kind of like the sloppy square. And then this will go right here. Just like so. And we have us a fun little quick page. So I'm going to work on getting my information in here, and then I will come back and show you the finished product. Okay, here is my page all finished. I wrote imitate me up here, and then you can see I wrote out part of the scripture here, wrote out 4 of my observations from the text here. So Paul is consistent, Paul follows Christ, we can trust his teachings, and to follow Paul is to follow Christ. And then I wrote out a little prayer, Lord, help me to follow you in my everyday actions and decisions. Amen. And then over here in this little box, I wrote just a little note, kind of a reminder, how do we imitate Paul? We have to read and study God's word so that we can know how he lived and how he reacted in certain situations and what he thought the word meant and what he learned from Jesus and from the other disciples. And then this also is going to help us learn how to imitate Jesus, because as we read the gospel, we learn about Jesus and who he was, what he fought for, and how he loved others. So, and there's definitely a balance between those two. Jesus was not just loving. He was quick to stand against those who did not align with the gospel and with the word of Christ, whether that be the New Testament or the Old Testament. Jesus had a very high regard for the Old Testament. We cannot discount the Old Testament. Just because maybe we don't like what it says or we don't like its rules. But at the same time, we are to love each other. We are to love each other. So yeah, so that is this page. I hope you enjoyed this little video and this little tutorial. Make sure you check the description below. There's always lots of links and lots of resources and free items, freebies and stuff like that. And if you created this page, I would love to see yours. You can head over to the group Growing Your Faith one page at a time, and you can share that there, because I would love to see it, and I would love to chat with you, and I would love to walk alongside you as we dig into God's word and grow our faith. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can check out all the new videos that are coming out, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.